In today's video, we will be taking an unboxing and overview of the Cooler Master CMP 320 or the CMP 320, whichever it's called. But anyway, this is a micro ATX case with all the modern features like the tempered glass, the PSU shroud, and those ARGB fans which all the gamers need nowadays, or maybe you don't need it, but it's kind of nice to have it, isn't it, guys? And it came in at a fantastic price of only £50. So I think this is quite a good sort of budget case to actually look at if you are wanting this personally, or if you are looking to flip a PC and recase a PC maybe and use this case. So without further ado, let's unbox it and get into it. Now quickly, before I actually do unbox it, or while we're unboxing it I shall say, a massive thank you to everyone who has subscribed. We are now over the 1,000 subscribers mark, so yay! Fantastic, guys, and you know I'm kind of buzzing about that, guys, so really thank you guys for getting me over the 1,000 now, and hopefully let's push on to that 2,000 subscriber mark now, guys, if we can. So again, thanks everyone for the support, and I hope to see you for many future videos. So here we go. And here it is, guys, in all its glory. I actually think it's really quite a pretty case. Now, you probably noticed I have got a bit of a flu, or I don't sound quite as normal as I do. But I just kind of wanted to, get this video out and do this video, although I haven't been feeling too well this week. But we will crack on, and as you know, guys, we have a sort of our normal kind of case unboxing. Is basically we look at the front, the top, the rear panel side, the underside of the case, as well as the back panel, like the cable management at the back, and obviously where all the action is at the front here, at the front panel. So yeah, let's just crack on with the Cooler Master CMP 320 unboxing and overview. So first of all, we have our front panel. Now this is a fully perforated mesh, which is actually, again, really nice to see, because for a gaming PC you want as much airflow as possible. Some people do like the fully glass look, but I do think certainly now in 2024 air cooling has become more of a priority, so having the mesh here at the front is ideal. Now I don't know whether it will pick up on the camera very well, but I'll put it this way. But basically this is like sort of jagged edges and stuff, and it's got quite a nice sort of styling to it. So basically this part of the bottom kind of pushes out this way, and initially I thought it was almost dented, the case, when I first looked at it when it came out of the box, but no, it's actually styled this way, so it kind of dents into that bit and then kind of dents into this part at the top here. So it's kind of funky how that is, and I actually kind of dig it. It's actually quite nice, I think. Now we do have two ARGB fans pre-installed, which are 120mm fans, and these are the fans where the colour is on the blades, not on the outside of the fan, which are like a ring on the outside, so you get the full colours in the actual blade itself, so that'll be nice. It will look very nice when it is fully when it is turned on and built and what have you. The fans are going to look great, and there is actually a fan controller in here, but we will get that with the back panel side. Overall, I do think the front is very nice. Let's actually pull this out here. So with the front panel removed there, or the front cover or whatever you want to call it, we have our two 120mm fans installed. Now in terms of radiator support, I'm just going to have to look. So in terms of radiator support, you can either have a 120mm or a 240mm at the front radiator. So your 360s or anything bigger than that is not going to fit. You can't actually fit 140mm fans here at the front either. Now you can apparently fit 3 120mm fans here, but you have to install them with inside the case rather than the outside, which these two are on the outside here. So apparently if you install them inside the case you can fit 3, but apparently fitting them on the outside won't fit, and I don't know why that is. It just says that on the box. I mean, to me it looks like you probably could actually get 3 120mm fans here at the front, but apparently you have to install them inside. So maybe some kind of clearance issues or something on there. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I think most people are just going to stick with the stock fans, let's be honest, aren't they? So that's not really too bad, and it is a bit of a shame you can't go 140mm fans at the front. I do think that, but overall I think it's perfectly fine. This does what it does what it needs to do. So yeah, I'm happy with the front. It does look good styling. And now moving to the top, as you can see, this when you put the case down, it actually kind of sort of rocks to side because it isn't a flat panel at the bottom. As I said, it's kind of sort of wedged up and down sort of thing. So you either put it on this side like this or this side like this. So it's a bit funny, but it's fine. I mean, you're never going to have your PC this way anyway, are you? I'm only doing this for the camera, so yeah. We do have a mesh cover at the top here, at the top of the case, for where your fans are going to go. So this is just pretty much standard now for all cases. Now the top, I believe, is 2 120mm fan supports or 2 140mm fan supports as well. And for the radiator, you can fit absolutely everything up to a 280mm AIO. So your 240s will fit. You could have a 120 if you wanted to, a 140 if you wanted to, but most people are going to go with a 240mm rad, or they're going to go with the 280mm rad as well. Obviously 360 or the 420 I think it is, for your 3 140mm fan ones. Those aren't compatible at all with this case, so just bear that in mind, obviously. Now, you probably won't see it from the camera here, but the clearance does look quite good actually. It's not loads, but there is certainly enough clearance that you could put a radiator in there, I think, quite comfortably. So moving to the I/O is at the top here, and when you take off that front here, the front panel there, it doesn't affect the I/O, and there's no cables there. So I kind of like this kind of more cleaner at the top I/O here. So we've got a big clicky power button. That's actually not that clicky, but it's okay. We have our reset button, I think it is there. Yep. Then we have a power LED button. I don't think there's actually a separate HDD power LED, so whether you like that or not, I don't know. We do have a combined audio jack, which I don't really like. I'd rather have the headphone micro jack as 2 separate jacks, but it is there if you do have one of those combined headphone and microphone jacks for your headset. And this is also disappointing as well, is that we get a USB 2 port and we get a USB 3 port, which really they should be just 2 USB 3 ports. But anyway, it's a budget case and you can kind of let this go a little bit. I mean, I actually, admittedly, when I brought this, I didn't actually realise it had that, and now I've seen this now, I'm a little bit disappointed, because I really think you've got to, especially in 2024, I think 2 USB 3 ports on your front panel has to be standard now. I mean, we can't really be dealing with USB 2 anymore, I don't think, but it's there and it is what it is, unfortunately. So a bit of a downside, but again, it's a £50 case. There's going to be shortcuts or cutbacks that have happened to make it £50, so it is where it is. Now we go to the rear of the case, where you have your I/O ports and everything like that. So as I said, there's quite a bit of a gap here to the motherboard from here, so I think actually fitting radiators shouldn't be a problem at all at the top. And probably if you are going to go with a radiator build in this PC, I probably would recommend going with the top and then just leaving the front as it is. But again, totally up to you and what you want to do. There is actually space for a rear 120mm fan, no support for the 140mm fan. But as you can see, we don't have one pre-installed, which again I think is kind of a bit of a, it's not a problem, it's not a deal breaker, but again it's one of those niceties that I would just like to see, that manufacturers put the two at the front for fans and then the one at the back. It just makes sense to me. And even if it's like a black one, I don't really have a problem with that, and it's non-RGB, but at least just put one. I mean, yes, you can buy like a £5 fan and just, you know, whatever, or you can get a spare one that you've got and just put it in there, but it's just nicer that it comes pre-installed, I think, personally, but it doesn't, so just bear that in mind. Then we have our cutout for our rear I/O of our motherboard, so that's all standard. And then we have, again, not a fan of these PCI slots. There is only 4 because it's micro ATX. Obviously, ATX motherboards won't fit in here. They're not big enough. Well, they're too big, but the case is not big enough. And obviously, they are the snap out type for the PCI slot. So you are going to have to one time snap them out. If you want to replace them, you're going to have to buy them on eBay or what have you to actually put the slots back in, basically, if you want to blank them out again. Not ideal, but it is what it is. And then there is this like little slidey thing as well, which is, again, I don't really like that thing. It kind of just puts a cover on the PCI slots, but again, I don't really like that. Once you've screwed them in with the screws, normally I think that's fine, but anyway, it is what it is. Now, for the PSU, you can put your PSU either fan facing down or fan facing up, if you are one of those weirdos who put the fan facing up. But again, personally for me, fan facing down, that's the way I go. But again, if you want to go fan facing up, you can, because there is actually, with inside here, there is actually a little bit of cutouts. There is going to be a little bit of breathing room for your PSU to actually breathe if your fan is facing up rather than down. Now we're on to the underside of the case, and I do apologise if my voice is starting to break up a little bit, but we're just going to have to keep carrying on with the video now. So yeah, we have 4 quite large feet here. They're probably about, well, I'd say about 2 centimeters. I would say they're probably, in terms of clearance there, that it gives you an extra bit off the desk. So if you are putting this on a desk, you have got a little bit of clearance. Again, I wouldn't recommend putting your PC on the floor, and certainly with these feet, your PC's not going to have much room to breathe on the floor. So I think if you're using this case, I would recommend on a desk only, personally. But again, it's up to you. We do have one of these flimsy, it's crap, isn't it, guys? But it's budget. It's one of those things which, you know, the PSU mesh for your PSU cover, just for your fan, it is there, and at least you can just take this out and clean it when you need to for a bit of maintenance. But I don't like to see these, and I'd rather the full pull out ones and the push back in ones. But again, it's a budget case for 50 quid, and you are going to get these cutbacks, unfortunately. But to be fair, this one actually does kind of fit back in kind of nice, so that's something. And we also do have a screw here which we'll be able to take out from the inside of the case, which will take the hard drive caddy out, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Now we're going to move to the back panel, which for a lot of people, this is where the budget case really kind of comes into its own, in terms of whether it's a buyable case or whether it's a pass for a case and you don't buy it. Now, I don't think these are actually captive thumb screws, so just be aware of that. Again, it's budget case, so you're probably not going to get captive thumb screws. And like I say, the cable management is the key part with a budget case. I think if you have a very budget case and the cable management is so bad that it's not worth it, it becomes a nightmare case, and you just don't want to deal with it, basically. And that kind of breaks the whole, you know, kind of usefulness of actually buying a budget case. But if it has good cable management, then yes, it's certainly a win. And you know, if you've got a piece, you can get quite a nice PC in there, and you've got a cheap case as well, so it's good. And I am happy to announce, now looking at the cable management space at the back, that yes, you really do have plenty of room here, actually. And Cooler Master generally are a very good brand of PC cases. In fact, I actually brought my first custom PC case all the way back in, dare I say it, 2004. Yeah, I know, it's 20 years ago, guys, now, but that's how long I've kind of been a PC enthusiast, and I think you guys probably have been a PC enthusiast for a fair amount of time as well. But yeah, I actually brought my first Cooler Master case. It was the first custom PC case I brought was a Cooler Master, so I have kind of, you know, I have kind of had quite a few experiences with Cooler Master cases before, and generally they do actually make very good cases, so I am quite happy to report here, even for a budget case, they have done a good job here with putting enough cable management. Certainly at the top here there's plenty, even at the sides here you've probably got a good inch there, I'd say, so even your fat 24 pins should be able to fit quite comfortably once you try and put the side panel on, so I think we're all good there from a cable management point of view, so that's a good sign. Now we'll move on to this fan hub thing, which is perfectly usable, and it is actually good to see in a budget case, because sometimes some manufacturers can kind of cheap out on this sort of thing. So yeah, basically you have your ARGB port here, then you have your sort of power for your fan power, so your sort of 4-pin power connector, if you will. And then obviously for the second fan you have your ARGB connector with your fan power as well. So if you need to connect up another 2 case fans, which will go to 4 case fans in total, which are ARGB, you can actually do this as well with the 2 remaining ports here. Now bear in mind, if you do 3 fans at the front with 2 at the top and the 1 at the back, you're obviously going to have 6 altogether. So you know, if you are doing a whole ARGB build, this probably isn't enough, this fan hub alone, to actually do that. You might even have to either purchase something separately and use that instead, or just go without and maybe just have black fans for 2 fans and then 4 ARGB fans. And just to confirm that this fan hub, as I said here previously, is connected with a SATA connection, so that's also good as well to see that it's SATA powered. I have seen a few Molex things and they're a bit atrocious, but you know, we don't want to be using a Molex connector in 2024, but there we go, you know, a SATA connection for your fan controller, so that's great. And basically the fan controller works through the reset switch. You can press the reset switch here, I can't speak today, but anyway. Yeah, you can press the reset switch at the front here multiple times. It won't reset the computer, it will obviously change over the different colours in the fans instead, and it will control all 4 if you have another 2 ARGB fans which are compatible, which I think more or less every single ARGB fan is compatible with this hub, but it's a possibility some might not be, but I think most are. Now also with that fan hub you do get an ARGB connector to actually plug in your 3-pin 5-volt ARGB header in your motherboard to the actual fan controller, which will then be able to override the reset switch sort of functionality to actually use off your motherboard software instead. So you can change all the colours through your motherboard software, so that'll be nice as well. Now before we move on to the separate cables, we'll have a little look at the baggie. So we do get quite an ample amount of cable ties, which is nice. And then we get quite a lot of screws and everything that you need. And we get one of those, you're not going to be able to see it here, but it's one of those motherboard sort of motherboard standoff screw things. So you can unscrew your motherboard standoff and then screw it back in if you need to move around your motherboard screws or standoffs to actually get the right position before you put your motherboard into the case, obviously. So yeah, quite a nice little bag there, and it's actually resealable as well, so that's also a nice touch, because a lot of case manufacturers don't actually have a resealable bag, which is annoying when you're doing a build and want to reseal the remaining screws again and what have you. So yeah, that's nice. And also with the fan control, I forgot to mention, this does have a 3-pin, which is a bit annoying. It's only 3-pin rather than 4-pin, but it does have a 3-pin fan connector for your fan control speed to your motherboard as well. So when you've connected up all your fans here to the controller, you can then connect this into your 4-pin sort of fan speed header on your motherboard, and then you can actually control the speed of the fans in theory. But it's only 3-pin rather than 4-pin, so I don't think you'll get the full PWM support, unfortunately. So I don't know how that's all going to work, if I'm honest, but it is there, so you can connect it to your motherboard if you want, potentially, if you want to get more control of the speed. Now we go on to our cables here that we get for the front panel, and we get the trademark purple for the USB 3 connector, which is kind of quite a nice touch. It's kind of separates Cooler Master from other brands, and I think that's kind of nice, rather than that sort of typical blue. We then have HD audio connector, which is nice. It's all blacked out as well, so again, nice to see on a budget case that we don't have all those ketchup and mustard cables. We have our USB 2 connector, which really shouldn't be here, but it is because we have a USB 2 port, which I don't agree with that decision from Cooler Master, but anyway, it is what it is. And then we have our kind of horrible cables for our hard drive LED, our power switch LED, and then our power LED as well. Oh, sorry, our power. I'll do that bit again. Our hard drive LED, our power switch, and our power LED. Obviously, the reset switch here is connected to the fan hub, but you can disconnect that and then connect it to the motherboard instead directly to actually use as a proper reset switch instead, if you don't want to have that ability to change the fan colours on the reset switch, and you want to use it on your motherboard instead. This could become a bit of a long video, but I'm just going to try and cut it down a little bit now, and go maybe a little bit quicker, so I apologise about that, but it's just the my flu that I've had has kind of made things difficult for me, but we'll carry on. So we have these hard drive caddies, which are nice. Again, Cooler Master designed these really well so that you can fit either one 3.5 inch hard drive in there, or you can go with the 2.5 inch SSD instead. The correct mounting is there for both, so that's nice. And this hard drive caddy does actually come out as well with the screw here. Yeah, sorry about that. That screw was a bit odd, but it was kind of like a flathead screwdriver screw, but it looked like a Phillips, so a bit weird. But anyway, it does come out, and the hard drive caddy does come out quite easily, giving you plenty of space here. Now, in terms of power supply support, I think it's 160 centimeters up to, if you are going to put in this hard drive caddy. And if you're not going to put in the hard drive caddy, then obviously you've got infinite space basically. So I believe the case is about 380 or 90 millimeters long, so you have absolutely plenty of space there for your power supply. And before anyone asks, it is a full, like a normal ATX power supply that it fits. You won't be able to put any like SFX units or anything else in there. It's the full ATX size. But yeah, I think we've kind of covered the back now quite comfortably. If there's anything else, I'll kind of come to that. So this is actually quite nice. Instead of having those usual 4-pin system, which is kind of a bit antiquated now for taking off your tempered glass, it's just 2 at the side here, and I believe this is just going to push out, or hopefully it won't fall out. Let's put it down, I think, first. It'll be more comfortable. I think it either pushes out or it... let me just see. Do I have to take the screws out? No, I think I have to take them totally out. Okay. Oh, I see. And then it just slides off. Yeah, yeah. Oh, it actually slides right out. Okay, that's kind of nice. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm kind of digging that. That's quite a nice system to actually get your... the glass panel off quite nicely, and a bit more sleeker actually than your kind of traditional 4-1 and then pull it up. So the inside here, pretty much what you probably expect from most sort of budget cases nowadays. We do have the big power supply shroud here, which actually is fully closed off, which for a lot of cases we don't actually see it fully closed off, so that's a big plus from me, from you know, to say to Cooler Master, you've done a good job there. As I said, there is a little bit of ventilation here over the PSU, but personally I would go PSU fan down to get more ventilation, but again, it's up to you guys. So the traditional micro ATX 8 screw sort of motherboards are supported straight out of the box. So it is like that sort of typical sort of like the typical setup for an 8 micro ATX motherboard with 8 screw holes. It's in that pattern, pre-installed for you, and all 8 standoffs are pre-installed for you as well. I don't know if you're going to pick that up on the camera very well, but they're all there, so that's nice to see. Obviously, if you only have the 6 which you're using, and you don't go over fully to this side, and you only have the 6, you can take these 2 out if you want to, or you can obviously shift. You can shift them to wherever you want and what have you. So. And of course, if you really want to, although I don't recommend it, you can go with an ITX motherboard in this case as well as a micro ATX motherboard. But I really would suggest micro ATX really with this case personally. Now, in terms of the actual fans that you get at the front itself, they are the Cooler Master CF120 ARGB fans. So I think you actually get some decent fans there. And again, Cooler Master has been around for a long time now, and they do some good fans as well, so I think these are actually going to be pretty respectable. You know, you're going to actually have a decent amount of airflow, and it's not going to be particularly loud either. So, you know, I think they're going to be alright fans. Only 120mm as well, so that is the only kind of downside. I mean, really, I would have loved to see 140mm fans, but again, it's a £50 case, and there's going to be some little bit of cutbacks here and there, so I think it's okay. Now, and the key one obviously is GPU support, and from what it says on the box, I think it's 367 millimeters altogether. So it's 365mm for the graphics card support, but it does state that you would have to remove the you'd have to have the fans on the outside rather than the inside. As soon as you put the fans on the inside, you will lose probably about I think you lose probably about 30 or 40mm in that length. So I think maybe if you're putting the fans in on the inside, and you're maybe going with 360mm fans at the front here, you know, 3 120mm fans, you will have to consider the graphics card, you know, to maybe go up to about 320mm, or which is just about 13 inches or 32 centimeters. So really good support actually for the graphics card, to be fair. I mean, that is really great. And I did forget to mention actually when I was doing the back panel, but you do have an SSD slot just where the motherboard tray is, so just around here. I don't know if you can see that where I'm pointing there, but it's basically that SSD can just fit behind the motherboard there. So if you do want to take out the hard drive cages and the hard drive trays and what have you, and have full cable management space there, you can do that and still put one SSD there at the back. So that's also nice as well, because I think a lot of people will kind of go with that configuration nowadays, especially with M.2 drives and conventional 2.5-inch SATA drives being a lot more preferred nowadays rather than your 3.5-inch hard drives. So as I said, I think there's plenty of room at the top here, really plenty of room for all your components, and I think overall, you know, Cooler Master have actually done a really good job here, I think. And yeah, as we can see, you know, there is the cutouts here at the top. Hopefully you can see that. There is good cutouts here. There's no grommets or anything, but again, it's budget case, so you're not going to expect too much. And there is two good size at the bottom here to fit in all your cables. There is enough cable management room and space and what have you. It's not the best, and admittedly, if you want to create like a very pretty PC, this maybe is a bit too budget for you, and I probably would suggest, you know, maybe upping your budget to maybe 60, 70 or even £80 if you really want a really nice PC case which really will stand out and be, you know, a real showpiece. But this certainly fits the bill for a good budget flip or for a good budget system for someone for themselves. So I think overall Cooler Master have done a really great job here. I do like this really nice front actually, and how it's like curved here and stuff. I actually really like that person. I think it's something different, and all credit to Cooler Master for actually doing something different with this case, because I think too many manufacturers just follow each other, and Cooler Master have been quite bold with this case and done something different, and I personally are really digging it. So yeah, overall I think this is one we can recommend, guys, and yeah, I think overall there doesn't look too much wrong with this. As I said, I think the cable management looks fine at the back from what I can see. The storage expansion certainly looks good. The fan support certainly looks good as well. The top, like I said, the top does look like there's plenty of room for fans. The front maybe a little bit limited in terms of fan support, a little bit more limited than I'd like, but it's okay and will do. And overall, yeah, props to Cooler Master. So again, thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers, and thank you if you really got this far in the video, then really thank you, because you know you really are a legend. So thank you so much, and thanks for sticking with me with this sort of flu and cold that I've got. I do apologise if I was kind of lose my voice at times there, but we've got through it. And overall, please like the video, please comment on what you think of this case and whether this is a buy for you or maybe it's not a buy for you, and comment on any cases that you want me to look at in the future. Obviously keep them budget, because we're on a budget here, guys. And please subscribe so you can see my future videos, and as always guys, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.